3D Homer Simpson Eating a Donut Acrylic Nail Art Tutorial by Hotpinkzebrapolish. Hi everybody, in today's video I'm going to be showing you a 3D Homer Simpson acrylic nail art design, and he's eating a donut because let's face it, in this whole time of quarantine we've been eating a lot of donuts, or anything really. Eating's been kind of the activity, right Melody?
Eat donuts.
You don't even eat donuts, do you? No? You like muffins? Yeah, she likes muffins. But I hope you guys like this design as much as I do, and don't forget to click subscribe to see all my future videos as well. I'm going to begin with an overlay of a super glittery teal acrylic. So I wanted this design, anytime I have a character that isn't automatically thought of as girly, I like to put some glitter in the background. So when I did Scooby-Doo a while ago, I actually used this exact same glitter in the background, and I just think that it makes it a little bit more feminine, which if you don't want to do, you certainly don't have to. It's just my personal preference. But then I'm going to encapsulate that with a layer of clear acrylic to make sure that that glitter is protected, because if you go ahead and file right into clear acrylic or right into the glittery acrylic, it's going to get very scratchy looking and kind of lose some of that glitz and glamour. So encapsulate that to protect the glitter and make sure that this nail is super strong. And now I'm going to be filing it into shape with my E-file, just going over the whole thing, making sure that it is smooth and perfect, still keeping in mind that I don't want to file through my clear layer into the glitter. So now I'm going to begin sculpting Homer Simpson with yellow acrylic, and my yellow acrylic doesn't have a very opaque quality to it, which for sometimes is great. For this particular circumstance, it's not, because you can see some of that teal glitter background through it, more so in person than in the video, but you still can tell that it's there. So I will paint over it later. So if you don't want to use yellow, you can use white or whatever color you want. But then I'm going to take a kind of a medium nude type color, and I'm going to be painting. I'm going to be sculpting Homer's mouth and chin area. So just go and sculpt, just lay that acrylic down and then kind of adjust it and play around with it and get it into that almost beak-like shape. And then add a circle for where he's chewing, because he's eating this donut. He's got a nice little pocket in his mouth where he's working on some donut bites. And then I'm going to sculpt one eye, just one eye at this point. I'll go back and do the other one in a moment. So doing two things too close together that are still wet is going to just make the colors run together and kind of just soften your nice crisp sculpted lines. So I like to hop around in a design to make sure that I leave each place a moment to just set up before I go back and continue to work on it. So now, after I've still got my white acrylic out from doing Homer's eye, I'm going to hop down to the tip of the nail and start working on his shirt. So the white acrylic, as you can see, has that really nice kind of opaque quality to it, which I was hoping my yellow acrylic would, but that's what I'm kind of going for. And so it looks like the yellow looks very clear at this point, like it's a completely different type of acrylic, which yellow just seems to be persistently a pain in the butt. So I'll go back and, like I said, I'll paint over it. But now I'm going to take, and I have the cap sleeve or the short sleeve of Homer's shirt. And then I'm going to take and sculpt his little nose over the top of that eye. So like I said, I let that eye set up so that when I sculpt something like the nose on top of it, it's not going to blend together or run or create any kind of little issue. And if you guys sculpt 3D stuff, you probably understand what I'm talking about with two areas of wet acrylic that you're working on next to each other, blending together and just creating a muddy mess. So generally speaking, it's just wise to kind of bounce back and forth. And if you're working on, say, a whole hand of 3D work, like a whole bunch of 3D flowers, if it were me, I like to do like a couple fingers and just hop back and forth and do like a couple petals on one hand and then go back and do a couple, or on one finger and then work next to it and then go back and forth, just because it gives those little petals or whatever it is that you're sculpting a chance to set, and then you can go back and work on it more. So now I'm going to go back and do Homer's other eye, now that both the first eye and the nose has had a chance to solidify. And now that we have that done, then you can go ahead and do his arm. So his arm is going to go up on the side of the nail, and it's partially cut off by the edge of my nail because I don't have space to sculpt the entire arm, so like the elbow isn't visible. If you wanted to do something where you had the whole arm and make it a little bit more extreme, you can do it in the way that I did my Garfield eating a pizza slice nail. And if you want to know what I mean and see exactly what I did for that, I can put a link for that video in the description box below. Or if you're just like me and you like food related nail art, definitely go and check that video out. But this is kind of And this goes the other way too. If you want to do that Garfield nail and you don't want it to be quite so 3D and extreme and make it a bit more wearable, you could do it in the way that I did this nail and just make it a bit flatter. So you can, whenever I do nail art and people are like, oh, but you could never wear it. And I just feel like telling them, you can. You just have to adjust a little detail here or there to make these nails that I do wearable. Because even if the design that I showed you isn't probably very practical, there's always a way to adjust it to be shorter or less dimensional or less delicate. And so this is just a great comparison because I have two nails that are super similar as far as a cartoon character eating something with their arm up, that you can easily see how to adjust it. So I will definitely put that video in the description box below. And even if you watched it, if you want to see how what I'm talking about for just switching it up, go and look at it just to refresh your memory so that you can see exactly what I mean when I say that you can adjust designs. So I've got his arm sculpted up. I have his donut. I sculpted his donut with the same kind of tan color I used for his face, and then I went through and added some pink frosting. And then I'm going to be brightening up Homer, as I've been mentioning, with yellow paint over the yellow acrylic. And it looks so much better in the end. It's kind of a pain to have to do it because it's just another step in the process, but it definitely does add a little bit, it just adds so much to it to have it be that nice creamy yellow color. So just go over everything and be very cautious to not get paint on anything else. Like you don't want to get white paint or yellow paint on his white shirt or on the donut or anything where it doesn't belong. So just take your time with it and really carefully apply the paint everywhere it needs to be. Go down on his arm. Make sure you cover his eyelids and all of those little spots you may forget. And then after you have that, we're going to be filling in all the other outlines with black paint. So I like to thin down my black paint slightly with a little bit of water. It doesn't have to be a lot of water. You don't want to necessarily just drown your paint out and dilute the pigment. You just want to add a couple drops of water to make it a bit easier to work with. So I'm going to go over and do all of his outlines. The Simpsons have such a distinct look to them that it's kind of fun to paint them because you just get to do a little bit of stuff you don't ever get to do, or that you don't see in other characters, like the really round eyes and the way the eyelids are. It's just so much fun to paint them because you get to do all these little curves and everything. At least if you're me, I really like doing the outlines on this guy. So then go through and do his mouth. Make sure you add a little bit of a smile line around that circle that you sculpted to really emphasize that he has a mouthful at the moment. Outline his shirt like that. And because of the fact I was trying to keep with the original appearance of the Simpsons cartoon, and they don't have a bunch of shading on them or really fine details, I didn't want to overdo it. But if you wanted to add some different shading and some depth on him, you definitely could play around with that and add some different layers to Mr. Homer. But if you want to keep it with basically the way that it would look originally, then I would keep it just with simple black outlines and not overdo it with finer details and extra lines, just to not complicate it. Then I'm going to go through and I'm going to do the same thing with my pink donut. I didn't think it was pink enough, so I'm going to go over with some pink paint and brighten that up. Sometimes acrylic just doesn't do what I ask it to do. And then add a couple little dots for sprinkles. And then I'm going to be applying a layer of gel sealer over the background to make sure that that glittery background looks super shiny and super sparkly. And then after that's cured, apply some matte top coat over Homer Simpson, and that is it. I really do love this nail, and like I said, go check out the Garfield nail too, just to get a comparison of what a more extreme version might look like, or how you could change it both ways to get the design that fits your lifestyle. So definitely tag me in any recreations on Facebook or Instagram, and I will see you next time. Bye.